Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm Andy Murray from WhatCulture. And in the words of Scatman John, beep ba 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 da bo bap bo bap beep.
And don't forget, if you want to listen to the news as a podcast or when you're out and about on the go, all you need to do is subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. But coming up today, some huge news about that NXT TV deal, but why you need to be careful what you wish for.
We'll have all the talk of that, a comprehensive breakdown, as well as some information on Matt Hardy and his slightly worrying wrestling future.
And the real reason Cedric Alexander is getting a
push.
This is the news.
And we're going to kick things off with that Fox, NXT USA, all that baloney. We've been speaking about this for weeks, seemingly. WWE throwing NXT on a Wednesday night TV network, a live slot to try and combat AEW with their TV, which is selling out venues all the way across the country, it seems. It's ridiculous. They're confounding all expectations. None of their numbers make any sense, and it's really cool to see. It's really healthy. But it looks like on tonight's Raw, WWE are readying for a big announcement. And according to Shagger Dave in today's daily update, where he documents all the shagging he's been doing that day, and also talks about wrestling news a little bit, it's thought that that announcement will revolve around NXT TV Wednesday nights, but not on Fox as was originally reported. It's going to be on the USA Network. And according to WrestleVotes, obviously a little pinch, they reckon it's going to be a 2-hour live broadcast, not pre-taped in Full Sail University, as has previously been the case. But there's more to it than that. Dave writes here, I am told that there is one more significant bit of news that will be announced related to this deal on the show. So there is all kinds of big stuff coming on Raw tonight relating to NXT and the USA Network.
And before we delve into discussing that between the two of us, we should also mention another thing that Dave Meltzer said about this, which is slightly more worrying if you're a fan of NXT and thinking, this is great news, we get NXT on live TV, it's not going to be taped ahead of time, etc, etc. Well, Meltzer also notes that Vince, of course, is probably going to get more and more involved with NXT now it is, well, if it does go to TV, saying, it also means that no matter what, that everyone who also thinks that Vince McMahon isn't going to get involved, like, this is very Meltzer.
This is very Dave.
It's on the USA Network. Vince is not going to be hands-off on a show on the USA Network. So, on one hand, great news, live NXT on TV every Wednesday night. On the other hand, Vince McMahon's NXT.
This is interesting. You can imagine him just kind of inviting Triple H into his office, feet up on the desk. Hey, Paul, that's a nice developmental pet project you got there. Shame if someone sports entertained it. This is, I can imagine a lot of NXT fans will be very, very worried by this. Number one, the show moving from 1 hour to 2 hours. I don't know about that. I kind of like NXT as this nice, concise, light, breezy thing you can consume really in about 50 minutes if you watch it on the network. Number two, obviously, Vince getting involved. Like, one of the key selling points of NXT is that it's different to the main roster. It's a more wrestling-centric product, a product that isn't quite so silly and daft, and there's no like misfiring comedy and goofy 50-50 booking and other stuff that has proven not to really work all that well on Raw and SmackDown. It's something like a safe haven away from all this, and of course it's Triple H's brainchild. The idea of Vince McMahon coming in and potentially booking Baron Corbin to go over Johnny Gargano in a minute and a half might not fill a lot of people with enthusiasm for this.
No, I was always trying to temper expectations when we first heard that they were going to go on TV, because it's all in good saying, oh, don't worry, they'll just put some TV product out there to counter AEW. But the moment Vince McMahon hears, competition, TV, his mind flashes back. He has the 1,000-yard stare of the Monday Night Wars, and he suddenly remembers how much fun he had during that time, and he is going to be getting the Undisputed Era to carry barrels around ringside all over again.
Yeah, this is going to be something else.
Time for some mentors!
I tell you what, the overbearing reaction to this for me is one of cynicism, because I don't know how you can really look at these things and say, hey, this is going to be great. NXT is going to be so much better now that Vince is writing it and it's twice as long for some reason. Obviously, it's counter AEW. But I'll tell you what, from one standpoint, this is going to be one hell of a wild ride. It might not be the best show in the world. It might not be as good as it has been over the past few years, but it's going to be really good fun. Whether this is a complete car crash or the best show ever somehow. I can't wait to see what kind of wild crap they come up with.
What's this,
honest.
a 6-month plan for a storyline? Nah. Start that again tonight.
Just been that. Johnny Gargano, title contender. Is it 5'10", is he? No, don't think so. Baron Corbin. Anyway.
What's that? Is it was it a basketball player who's like 7 foot they've just signed?
Jordan McMahon.
Yeah.
Get him in. Yeah, I don't care if he's only had 2 matches and can't do a body slam, give him the belt. One of the underrated aspects of this, and something that's worth breaking down, is how this might affect WWE's networks. Because obviously all the rumours that swirled around about NXT moving to Wednesday night were that it was going to be on Fox, it was going to be on FS1, it was going to be part of this new $1 billion deal that sees SmackDown going to Fox on Friday nights from October. But it's going to be on USA, and you imagine if you're a Fox network executive, you're sitting there and you're thinking, what the hell's going on, man? Why have they done this? I thought we were getting the thing, and now I'm not very happy. I'm going to phone Vince and like tweet about him like passive aggressively or whatever you do in 2019. Anyway, Dave talks about this a little bit on Wrestling Observer Radio, the latest episode, and I've got a direct quote here. I've trimmed it because Dave takes 5 hours to explain a simple point.
Get to the point, Dave.
Fox obviously thought they were getting the Wednesday night show on FS1. Okay, I'll do it normally. FS1 obviously lost God knows how many hours of UFC programming, which hurts them. UFC was very strong on FS1. Part of the deal was the idea that the money we're going to spend on UFC, we're going to spend on WWE. That's from Fox's standpoint, obviously. They had a shot of getting NXT, and they already told their affiliates that we're going to be getting NXT. He then goes on stating that Fox had been telling affiliate sponsors and other stakeholders that they were going to be the WWE TV Network, although in reality now they are left with only SmackDown, while USA is going to have Raw, it's going to have NXT, it's got Steve Austin's new show, it's got Miz and Mrs. That's not a good look if you're Fox and you were thinking you were getting all the content.
I can't help but feel that WWE, as they always do, have gone, yeah, don't worry. We don't need to write it down. We all know you're going to get all the good stuff. All right, sorry, we're going to go to USA. Yeah. Like, this is the most Vince that we talk about almost every week, that Vince agrees something only verbally and then goes, well, if I haven't signed anything, pal. Like, he's got your money now, hasn't he? That's it.
It's like, I don't know if pissing off your $1 billion benefactors is the best idea in the world. I'm not Vince McMahon, I'm no wrestling promoter and all this stuff, but, sitting here in Newcastle upon Tyne, 1,000 million miles away, I'm not so sure about this one, brother.
Can't help but feel he's looking a gift horse in the mouth, isn't he? Because we were talking about how amazing this deal is, considering, the fact that TV revenue is going down and down and down, and yet they've got this huge deal from Fox, and now they're kind of taking the piss a little bit.
Yeah, they really are. Again, it's another twist on this wild ride that is the wrestling world in 2019, and I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, it's a bumpy ride, but we enjoy it. Right, let's move on now to talk about Cedric Alexander, and bollocks, my notes have been ripped off. Never mind. Anyway, Dave Meltzer is also reporting on Wrestling Observer Radio that the reason why Cedric Alexander has been getting such a push recently is because Paul Heyman is really, really hot on him. He's a huge fan. And, considering the way it's gone, the way we reported, Braun Strowman was going to get a big revamp on Monday Night Raw because of Paul Heyman liking him. Now this is happening for Cedric Alexander. This is just another example of the good stuff that Heyman and Bischoff, at least are being attributed to them since they've been, apparently executive directors?
Executive directors, yeah. No, this is good to hear. I like hearing stuff like this. Cedric's been on TV a lot more recently. He was kind of lost in the shuffle after joining from 205 Live. But recently, we've seen him diving off the set. We've seen him do that weird mask thing with Roman Reigns that didn't make a whole lot of sense. Oh, yeah. But hey, he was on
Gary
TV.
the Goat or something?
Gary the Goat Garbutt, I believe, was the thing.
Got you by losing to you in a match.
I lost in 2 minutes, but never mind. And he obviously had a little firecracker of a bout with Drew McIntyre on Raw last week. I thought that was quality. It was great fun. Good to see. Cedric's obviously a very talented wrestler. Very, very exciting guy when he's allowed to do what he does best, and that is flippy-dippy-doo-dahs all the live long day, and I couldn't be happier to see it.
Paul, just continue to do this with about 20 other members of the roster and we'll all be okay.
What about Cesaro?
Yes, indeed. King of the Ring starts tonight, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And who does Cedric have again? Sami Zayn! That should be really good.
Banger.
What a good little match. And if he wins, guess who he faces?
Who?
The winner of Baron Corbin versus The Miz. Gonna lose to Baron Corbin. Good.
Our king.
King, Constable, Legend. Let's sign off with some not so positive news, although maybe it is. I don't know. Tell me your take on it, comment section. I'm sure you will already, as well as like slagging off my ears and stuff. Matt Hardy, or the vessel of Matt Hardy as he tweets as, tweeted the following over the weekend. I wish to spend my last few years in the wrestling industry being as creative and as productive as possible. I have some hard decisions in the coming months, and the wrestling fans' opinions matter to me. What do you think? What did you think of the Ultimate Deletion? And there's a big poll. Of course, 95% said yes, it was wonderful. 5% said no, it was not wonderful. Idiots. There's some more discussion, some more follow-up. A guy basically tweeted him saying, "Go back to being broken, Matt. It's the best." And Matt Hardy said, "That is my desire." So last year was a very tricky one for Matt with regards to injuries and so forth. There was that worrying report that his spine was fusing into his pelvis. So, there's always been a sense that he has been wrestling on borrowed time for quite a while now, and it certainly sounds like that from this tweet. But at the same time, take a pinch of Hardy with this one, because he has teased retirement, and I think he outright said he was done at one point as well. He does this all the time. He likes getting people talking. He's a master of generating social media buzz, and the fact that we're sitting here talking about it, again, proves that.
I'm inclined to agree with that tweet, though. I'd like to see him return to Broken Matt, even if he only has a short period of time left. If you used him as, maybe not quite to the level of a Goldberg, but a special attraction at big pay-per-views, having people go up against him and getting involved in his world, let's just say, I think you could do some really, really good stuff.
Well, something I don't understand why they haven't done with him is they apparently have all the rights to do the broken stuff, right? Matt confirmed that on Twitter yesterday again. They can do all of that stuff. But they never have, and it would be really cool if they just did like a short run of network specials. 30 minutes to an hour, film like 6 of them, just put it on the network. It'd be so much fun.
Yeah, especially if you build to something like a Halloween like they did last year.
Yeah, exactly. And there's nothing to lose. Okay, there's a bit of money to lose. You're WWE, you're swimming, you're Scrooge McDuckin, and indeed clucking. You don't need all that goddamn money. Give some to Matt Hardy, let him do some fun stuff. I think it would be amazing.
It'll appease the fans who want to see that sort of thing, and it will like we've said, we've all had all this, Roman Reigns whodunit bollocks, which is arguably to appease Vince, so Paul can just put on some banging matches on Monday Night Raw. This will be the opposite. You can have a load of bollocks with Baron Corbin, so long as I get my broken Matt Hardy stuff.
I'll take both. Put broken Baron Corbin.
Oh my God.
There we go. Fantasy booking.
And maybe you could go into the Lake of Reincarnation and grow his hair back. Who knows?
That worked for me.
Who knows?
Let's
move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE. Of course, if you want to get in touch. Tay Say So asks, with NXT moving to cable TV and having a wider audience, do you think WWE will put an NXT match on a main roster pay-per-view to get more eyes on the product, or should they keep their big matches on takeover events?
Keep your big matches on takeover. I think they will. We will see matches spread over to the main roster if that's the thing. But I like NXT existing in its own little bubble. It's cool when guys like Tyler Breeze come back, and it's cool when like Seth Rollins shows up in a random takeover. Things like that are awesome. But I wouldn't like it to be diluted. I like that it's its own little island. And one of the biggest worries about this Vince thing is that we're going to get bloody rest hold matches on NXT.
It's all a bit too soon for this, but if you could put an NXT, championship match, whether it be for the men's or the women's title, on something like Clash of Champions, I really think that would elevate it.
That'd be cool.
But I don't see it happening, to be honest. I agree. I think they're going to stick with the takeovers, and that's fine because, they've been fantastic aside from the last one, which was, it's fine. Clayton Leach with the second question today, saying, given both the Revival and Randy Orton's old school wrestling style and last week's beatdown on the New Day, what do you think of forming a stable from that group? And who else might be a solid member of that stable, maybe as the heater?
That's a really good idea. I really like the idea of that. Like, Randy Orton especially, he's such a grinding, and people hate him because of it, and to be fair, I do sometimes as well, but he's such a grinding, boring wrestler at times, harks back to an era gone by. As far as a heater, if you've got Randy Orton, I don't know if you need a heater. No. That guy is one of the greatest heels of his generation. Although for the sake of answering the question, I think if they could find a way to snatch Tully Blanchard away from AEW, his promo work with Sean Spears has been fantastic. He's such a creepy, sinister dude. He can just sit there and I get chills up my spine. He's really good at his job, even at this advanced, obviously, stage in his career. I don't think there's an obvious one in WWE.
No, I really like that. Whenever he whispers something to Sean Spears, I'm like, what's going on here?
Creepy prick. He's made Sean Spears look like $1 million. Not that Sean Spears isn't good, but he's really taken him to the next level.
And I do like the idea. I always like the idea of wrestling stables, and I think what Clayton said there, putting the Revival and Randy Orton together would only benefit all three men. Right, let's move on to the final question, because this is a really good one. From Mysteriously Familiar Ice Cream, who asks, if you could describe your life in 1 to 3 wrestling matches, what matches would they be?
Oh, that might be the best question we've ever had.
That could be up there.
That is awesome. Wow, describe your life in 3 wrestling matches. Well, I got to go with the first wrestling match I ever saw, which is, and it's crap. It's Roddy Piper versus the Mountie from the 1992 Royal Rumble. I think it's like 5 minutes long. It's for the Intercontinental title. It ends with Roddy shocking the Mountie with that stick thing he had. I actually had the VHS of this show, and there is a match before it, but the tape was all messed up and I could only really see that match first. So that is number one, obviously, because it's the first match I saw. Number two, got to be probably my favorite wrestling match of all time, which is, it's hipster crap, but I don't care. It's Katsuyori Shibata versus Tomohiro Ishii, my favorite wrestler of all time, from the G1 Climax in 2013. 12 minutes of beef slapping beauty. Number three, I gotta embrace the banter in life, in wrestling, in all forms of media, and that means, legitimately, it's one of my favorite matches of all time, and people are gonna take the piss. I don't care. WLC. It's the best. It's the best comedy match I have ever seen. Jinder Mahal takes a table bump for some reason. The whole thing is an absolute hoot, and life itself is a hoot. Don't be miserable. Don't be serious all the time. Watch WLC and improve your life.
It's brilliant. I took a slightly different route to this. I tried to do it so my life reflected in wrestling matches. So I'll start with Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. Really fun, exciting start to life. Great deal of promise, and then you realise that immediately after that match, you ruined it. Then I'm going to move on to the greatest Royal Rumble, because that is the banterest thing of all time, and of course features Titus World Slide and just mad nonsense. And now, increasingly, the first match I thought of when I thought of this, increasingly as I get older, I wake up every morning feeling like John Cena probably felt after his match with Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, so that's going to be my third one, when life just ragdolls you. Suplex City, bitch.
The big leg drop.
Right, let's move on to today's, and finally, and no prizes for guessing what this is. I have been bombarded with this over the weekend. After StarCast announced, of course, your boy Gangrel is going to be there.
Gangrel.
Myself and Phil Chambers were very pissed off that this is the one time we're not at StarCast, and our boy, Fangin' and Bangin', is going to be there.
Fangin' and Bangin' 25-8, like that guy from the UFC.
I'll tell you what, if anyone is going to StarCast 3, if they can get a personal message from Gangrel to my friend Andy Murray, I think that would make...
I'd probably melt.
That would be every and finally for about a month straight, wouldn't it? You'd just be like, play it again.
Yeah. If you meet the Fanger and Banger, and you do indeed get the opportunity to fang and or bang, take that opportunity, brothers. I love it. I love it, Michael.
Let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, send us Twitter questions at WhatCultureWWE. Well, actually, there, follow both of us. You can follow him at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for heartwarming.
You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. You can follow us all at WhatCultureWWE. And as I said at the start, if you want to listen to the podcast when you're out and about on the go as a podcast, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. My thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.